Hey guys, it's me Zayn, and guess who's with me? Jungle in a Pod project, guys. Okay, so since a few days have passed, I thought I'm gonna make the first update for this whole project and the pod and the plant itself. But first, let me talk about this thing. So, if you don't know what is this, check out the links in the description box and in the info card. Actually, I made a project which I named Jungle in a Pot, since I put it up together all sorts of tropical plants, house plants, which I thought they might do put it together. And also I try to actually maintain a jungle-ish and a natural look with these plants. So I purchased some ferns and all kinds of flowering and not flowering stuff, and I put it up together. But this is not a regular just putting up together a few plants, but it's actually special in a way, since here is this rod part, and the rod part has orchids and epiphytes on it. So my intention was to create not only this pot level, but to create this vertical level also with this rod. So I placed on the rod some plants as well, and also I potted up some plants which can grow up on this rod. So right now, since a few days have passed, and I'm doing a quick math here, and I think I can name this officially a 1 month update, since I made this whole part. Well, yeah, there was a week difference between making the potting up part and the rod part, because I didn't have time to film everything at once. But I think I can name this officially a 1 month update, since roughly 1 month has passed since I made this. Also, when I was away, I was on a 2-week vacation, so I'm not sure if anybody actually watered this thing, but it's doing good. So right now we're gonna take a look at all the plants one at a time, and I will talk about them, how are they doing in this setup, and also we're gonna take a look at the whole thing, so you will see and you will get an idea about this whole project. So right now I will take the camera and I will show you all the plants which are here. So at first, let's take a look all the plants which are potted in this pot. Since this was the biggest pot that I could find, I had to use this. Maybe it would be better if I use another pot which is bigger, but whatever, I use this. So at first, take a look at this plant here. What is this? Well, whatever, maybe it will sprout. This plant is an African violet, which I bought at a very discounted price. It was like 30 cents, so that's a very good price, and I was like, oh well, if it will die, then it will die, whatever. It was like fucking cheap. So far, it's doing good. All the flowering stems are dry now. I didn't expect a rebloom right away, since it was in a rather bad condition when I got it, because it was discounted. Well, since I potted it into regular soil and not the special African violet soil, I expected some, I don't know, a time when it will actually get used to this soil, or I don't know, I'm not sure how it will do in the future, but as far as I can tell, right now the leaves are all stiff and nice, there is no wrinkling, and there is no issue with keeping the African violet actually hydrated. And as far as I could tell back then when I purchased it, this was actually more plants, and if I will move wisely and I don't make a shadow here, we can see that here there are some tiny leaves, and that means that there might be somewhere a tinier African violet, and maybe behind this leaf there is something. No. There was another plantlet somewhere, but I don't remember where. Also, what is this? Okay, this is just a leaf from the flowering stem, so that's nothing interesting, but all the leaves are nice and stiff and hydrated, so I like that. Okay, so now let's take a look at both of the ferns. Let's start with this one. Well, I was pretty afraid of the ferns because, you know, ferns can be finicky, and if they don't get too much humidity they might die, and I was like, oh shit, what I'm gonna do with these. But if you look at them and if I touch them, they are doing great. And also on this one I can see a lot of new leaves. For example, this is a new leaf because it's lighter in color. That's not a new leaf, but I think this is a new leaf as well. Also this is a new leaf, or I don't know, this is the whole leaf, or this tiny part is one leaf, I'm not sure about that. But those new somethings, formations on the plant are new and healthy, and they are just growing because I'm just noticing the tip is still curled into itself and curled back, or how do you say that? So that's good. This fern is doing really nice. I was afraid of it because look at the leaves and it looks so flimsy and stuff, but this is a pretty strong plant. And oh, look at that, some new leaves are forming there, so that's nice. The other fern, which I know the name of but I forget it, but I have written it somewhere in the comment section of some of these Jungle in a Pot project videos. Well, this one is doing fine, I think. Is that the center? What the center should do with this fern? What is that in the center? I don't know. Oh, there are new leaves, so that's great. So this fern does pretty well also. It has new leaves forming in the center and the leaves are not falling. This fern is doing fine also. I really like the actual shape. And by the way, this is not a staghorn fern because that's an epiphyte dish thingy, but this is I think a bird nest fern is called in my language, but I'm not sure about that. But I found the actual name of it, and if I will find it I will show you that, and I will write that name on the screen. Okay, so the next plant which is spotted in this setup is the Madagascar jasmine. I was pretty afraid of the Madagascar jasmine because it wasn't doing all that great for me, like ever in its lifetime. Well, look at this. This is a new shoot. Hooray! That's really great. And it's growing pretty nice because there's a new pair of leaves here and also here and also here, but they are folded still. This part was a new shoot as well, but it had leaves pretty close growing to themselves, so I'm not really don't know what to do with this plant, but whatever. This was a new growth as well, but it stopped. I mean, it's not dry or anything, it has this end part there, so I'm not sure what it's happening with this one. I made one part of this Madagascar jasmine go up on this rod, so it will be filled kind of with leaves. So this is that part which is going up, and it's making its way behind the rod, and it comes up and pops up right here. There are new growing leaves as well on this part, so I think this Madagascar jasmine is doing great on this in this setup as well. Okay, and the last plant, which is not this big monster right here, I will talk about that later too. The last plant which is spotted in this setup, and it should cover this rod, is the purple heart plant, which is this one, and it's not really purple because it's not getting that much sun, so I might move this to a sunnier place. But they are growing strong. The leaves are pretty good, and all the new growing parts are growing upwards, which is good. There is 2 of these stems growing. There is like 3 on this part, so that's good. And if I will move it to a lighter, sunnier place, these will really show up their purple color, and that's great. And also there is one single shoot growing here, and I potted this one up like this, and it made this curve and is going upwards. I just needed a little purple in the front part as well. That's why it's like hanging out from the pot there, and it will look nice after time, not like now. So right now here comes the monstera, which well, is around now 3 monsteras, because I realized that they were like split. So the first tinier part of the monstera is this part with these leaves, and also this right here. And look at that, there is a new leaf coming up, so that's pretty great. In the first days these leaves were pretty floppy and dehydrated, but after a time they really got back to their energy and their full growing mode. So yeah, there is a new leaf growing there. Well, then there is this part, which is still this sad looking part, but it's only because the end of this part is pretty much just downwards, so the new growth will face the sun and it will grow upwards as well again, so that's good. And the last part, which is the highest on the rod, while it goes up here, it makes its way behind the rod like the jasmine, and here are the leaves. This is one big leaf, two big leaves, two big leaves here, and one leaf here where the bromeliad is. So this part is pretty good. I cannot see any new growth coming up from this part. I think it will grow some new things as well. So right now let's talk about the plants which are actually on the rod and they are not planted into the soil. The first, if we go up, is this mottled leaf Phalaenopsis, which I really like, and it's getting back to normal hydration because it was dehydrated because of the repot, and I think nobody watered it when I was away, so it's getting hydrated again. I'm watering it like not weekly because it's not enough in this heat, but more than once a week. Every time I see it's dry, I water it. It's getting hydrated again, and I can see the tiny bit of new leaf actually growing in the crown of it, so that's good. There is the mini Phalaenopsis. It's very hydrated. I don't know how did it happen if the other one is dehydrated, but whatever. The root system looks still good on it, so I'm okay with this fall, although there is no new leaf coming up. And here is the bromeliad. Well, it's not doing anything. I'm watering it and it's there. It's like just there. Okay, so right now I'm really running out of battery. Okay, so this is my jungle in the pot project, and I think so far it's a success. I really like the look of it, and everyone who comes and visits me and see this thing, well, it's amazed that plants are potted together and it looks good and stuff, so I'm pretty pleased with it. I like this project and so far it's a success. We will see what's gonna happen in the future. I'm really curious if all the plants will survive and if they won't compete with themselves and stuff like that. I'm curious about these things, so I'm gonna do more updates on this one. I'm not gonna do an update for every month, but I'm gonna do updates regularly, like for, I don't know, 3 months and then half a year and then 1 year and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do updates on this one because I think it's interesting, and interesting to see how it actually develops in different, well, let's say conditions, but different seasons and different months and stuff like that. Also, I will have to bring it back in the winter time, so I'm gonna curious what's gonna happen then, and also I'm curious where I want to place it because I really don't know. I have no fucking idea. Yeah, this is my video for today. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, click on the like button. Also, you can leave questions and anything, comments in the comment section down below this video. Yeah, subscribe to this channel. Also turn on notifications so you will be notified if I upload something, and maybe it's gonna be an update, so really do that. Subscribe to my other channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram, and you can find all the links down in the info box. So this was the Zane video for today. See you next time. Bye guys. You know how hard it is this to actually bring it inside, make a nice background for this plant for filming, and then bring it back outside. My face is so tired because I made a lot of videos today.